else. It's Saturday, and we have a chilly, frosty, white fall day here in Sweden. And I am back in, surprisingly enough, Call of War. It was Black Friday. They tried to sell me some gold, which I most likely won't buy from them, but I realized they have updated the game quite substantially. So I was thinking I was gonna look at it, and I ended up starting a new campaign, and here we are. Um, it's 1.5, which has a lot of new features and changes from the old version of the game, and this is a so-called. Let me see if I can check it out. This game is it's an free-for-all event. In this special event map, you'll get to play a free anonymous round. You'll see 40% gold, just 10 minutes, alright. But I get a spy chick if I buy it. With disabled coalitions, show your skill and win the great gold prize. So there are special rules in this event free for all, which is anonymous, and I think you get kicked out if you're inactive for more than 24 hours. It's a bit easier going and faster, and you get. I think it's a maximum time event, so it's not one of those 2-3 months campaigns with huge coalitions. Which means I feel more comfortable actually starting this, because at the moment I'm not planning to spend a lot of time in this game. Here's the game. So, what are the changes, you might ask yourselves? Oh, more gold. Um, we're gonna come back to that. Anyway, I got a lot of a random nation. I think. I mean, I didn't pick New Zealand. I just ended up in here. So, and it's way off from a lot of stuff, but it doesn't. Okay, I think there might be AI rulers around here, because I really need to expand fast into Australia if I'm gonna survive. Problem with New Zealand is that it's so far off. It's also a strength that you don't get invaded, your course, but where am I to expand? There's basically only one direction to expand, and it's up here. And yesterday evening, I sent out my first force towards Tasmania, which is definitely a computer player. And now I'm gonna take all the forces here and land them. Not it's armored car and 8. Sorry, it's a little bit new to me, this interface here. Split up your army. Yeah, I guess I want those and those. And well, there used to be a button select all, but now you have to click and drag. And when I press move, okay, yeah. So I want to disembark here on the coast. Let's see if we can still do that without declaring war. Cannot. Okay, they removed that. You used to be able to land for 4 hours. Um, yeah. So maybe we should move around here and do land. See. I might as well declare war then and just attack in. Yeah, it seems the fastest way for this navy is to move down here. Okay, so I think it was 4 hours. Now it's 4.5 hours to land. I'm not sure about that though. So I'll move over here with my entire navy. That's only 2 hours. I can see any other Australian navies that I already built a destroyer. That's faster than what you used to be able to do in the basic game, in the old game. Sorry, not the basic. It's the same game. You still can play old versions of the game. Classic. They call it classic if you prefer that. There were quite a few differences as far as I can tell. Here's my second destroyer. It's going up to escort my second navy, which is up here. The rest of my infantry and one armored car, I suspect. I will invade. What's this called? Nuemea. Nuemea. All these little islands here have double resources. That is definitely new. I think in the old version, these islands were basically only some money and population, so no resources. Or maybe one of them or two had some resources. So, and that, okay, I'll show you now. First off, you start with 5 cities instead of 4 like you used to, and each city has one double resource. That is for New Zealand. I have not examined, but I will now. So Sydney has double food, Melbourne has double rares, Newcastle has double. Yeah, it definitely seems like every nation on Earth has gotten 5 double resources, which means every nation has the same setup. Well, then you have a few random scattered countryside resources, which I might vary. I don't know. I'm not gonna check it. But since you cannot build factories in the countryside for these single resources, like fuel in Napier, you can only build in the countryside. Oh, local industry. You can now. I can. Okay, okay. I didn't see that. So now, resource industry only increases resource production. As far as I can tell, there are no views to production speed, which is a change from the previous version. Recruiting station increases population, manpower production, and propaganda office lowers morale development. I don't think this building was in the game before. It only affected from where you placed your capital. So that is a very big change from the previous version of the game. They balanced every nation, which I like. It seems that your location on the world map matters, but not that you have to go through and see, oh, do I want 2 oil or 1 double oil? Like the nations used to be a little bit unbalanced. Now they're not. So that's a good change. Obviously, let me say, I don't recommend you start playing this game because, as you can see here, I have 150,000 gold, and you can do anything with gold. It's a total pay-to-win game. Totally. Totally. Like, if I'm pissed off with my opponent, I can go in and just buy more gold and buy anything in the game. It has... If there was a limit to what you could buy, I could agree to throwing money at a game like this. But since... And it's also very expensive. It's also very expensive, which, like, if you're a wallet warrior, if you have a burning credit card, if you make a lot of money, if your dad is rich, you can play this game much better than someone that's not willing to spend or doesn't have the money to spend. Like, if you're a young person and 150,000 gold, it's not going to take you very far. But let me see, how much would that cost to buy actually? Look, these are Swedish crowns, but divide it by 10 and you have dollars or euros, more or less. So for 180 euros, you get, well, like a million. So 140,000 gold, that would cost you 27 euros. That is outrageous. I I think I bought like High Command, which is the premium version, and a little bit of gold, maybe the 18 or 42,000. The rest I have gained by playing. So I basically use gold maybe early game to finish off if I need a little bit of advantage to get me started, or if I see another gold spammer. If I see a gold spammer, I know I lost the map. I'm not gonna win. They're gonna buy a huge chunk of gold, and to feed their ego, they're gonna win that map no matter what. So whatever I do, they're gonna throw the same amount of gold or more at me. So what I'll do is I'll just realize I lost the map, I let them win, but I make them pay as much as possible, and I might throw a little bit of gold just to throw a monkey wrench into their little gold spending machinery. I'm sure they're having fun, but it surely will piss them off when I use a little bit of gold, just to survive a little bit longer, and they'll have to spam out another couple of dollars, couple of euros worth of real money just to win that single map. Because you can start 10 games for free here. I can play 10 games at the same time. It doesn't cost me a penny. So my goal is only to thwart, to piss off, gold spammers, because that ruins the game. They designed the gold mechanism. I cannot emphasize this enough. They ruined this game, which otherwise might have been a rather nice and cozy and slow-moving World War II world conquest MMO. I would recommend the game if it wasn't for the messed up gold mechanics. So there we go. That's I still do not recommend the game, even though I played it a lot. That actually happens with quite a few games. Alright, here in Dunedin I have built what is called a tank plant. And that is a new building. And the tank plant allows you to build tanks, and you can increase the production speed by 94% on the max level. Right now I have, how much is the bonus? Next level is 50%. But it allows me to build tanks in this town, and light tanks have a new stat which is called heavy armor attack, but it also has light armor and unarmored attack as usual. I think these stats are I haven't examined the new stats. I just saw that you have a new stat that is called heavy armor attack. Anyway, you don't need any food to build light tanks. And I did a mistake, because usually food was rather pointless in the beginning of the game, but now it seems all resources have an equal worth. It's not like you're not gonna use food and oil until late game. So I basically bought rare materials and goods. Goods is a good idea because that was my lowest production value. But rare materials, I don't know. But I did what I used to do on the market, and it turned out that was probably not such a good idea. Let's see if maybe I should buy some more goods. So the game changed a bit. Okay, I built industries. That's probably what I want to focus on. At least my goods. Is that what it's called? Yeah, goods. It is the lowest production number I have in Auckland, and so I'm gonna see how much would it cost to build a level 2 factory. Metal, oil, and rares. Alright. Okay, so maybe it was a good thing I bought rares. No. I'm running out of metal faster than I'm running out of goods. So that means I should increase the factory level, which is 1. Sorry, industry level here. Okay, so I can still afford 1200. I could build 3 industries, and that would increase my resource production from 10% to 20%. So it's not, that's weird. I mean, if you have a level 5 100%, that would in my mind mean you would increase 25% for each level. Excuse me, 20% of course, divided by 100 divided by 5 is 20, but here you jump up to 25 instead. So they decided to have an equal amount of increase in production out of the different levels. I think the production cost per level is constant. I can't check it because I built industry in every town, but as far as I remember, this was the cost yesterday when I built the first level. Uh, but the time was 9 hours something. So with each level, the production time is gonna go up with 50% or so, something. That's an estimate. But let's build a metal. That's that what it's called? Yeah, metal factory here, metal industry. That will. But 305 is it's the highest production number I have. So still, even though I have some goods that I bought from the market, I think I'm gonna increase my uh, resource production of goods as well. Okay. Do I need more destroyers? Do I need more troops? Actually, my my food production is very low as well, and I would like to research artillery. That will cost me 700. I can afford that. What else? There's not that much you can research. I usually skip militia unless I am a nation that is very hill concentrated. So let's say if you're Tibet, and you're in the mountains and hills all the time fighting, yeah, I might do militia. Otherwise, in the old game, your manpower tended to run out before your hill defensive needs. But again, I don't know about that. So maybe we should research a few submarines, uh, air units are usually expensive to research. Okay, so it doesn't cost any food to research. Yeah, okay, so look here. Rare materials is still something that's gonna be used a lot for researching later on. Oh, they have a new attack bomber, which I guess is dive bombers actually. Um, naval bombers. Yeah, and they have the same medium and heavy tank division here. And it looks like the secret tree has been made a little bit smaller, actually. There are no nuclear ships. They have been removed. The nuclear submarines, the nuclear battleship. So they streamlined. They have level 2 rocket fighters. That was not the case before. I wish they had. This is a Comet 16 Messerschmitt 163 rocket plane, right? I wish they would have made an icon for the Messerschmitt 262 Schwalbe two-engined uh, rocket plane here. That would have been nice. Still, we have doctrines. That is new. Um, Hello, viewer. Welcome to the stream. Have you ever played Call of War? Don't know who you are. Can't see in my streaming program. Um, okay, back to the game. So I didn't get to choose my doctrine. I am allied since I'm New Zealand, but it decreases my production times. It decreases research and cost times. It decreases upgrade cost and times. I don't know what that is. If it's buildings, I don't think you pay to upgrade units. Usually units upgrade automatically to the next level when you research them. So my guess is this is buildings. But it's slower to build units. Decreased units. No, 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 they move slower. I don't mind this. I mean, who cares how fast they move so slowly anyways in this game. And if I want to move fast, I'm just gonna build armored cars or light tanks that are fast. I I can't tell you. I saw this patch when it came out. It's a long time ago. I haven't played since then, and I like this. It's kind of cool that you know your nation differs a little bit. So, but I can't really tell. It seems like I should be in no hurry because my benefits would come in the long run playing in an allied nation compared to let's say Axis that has their units have increased damage and hit points. So they have tougher, but they are more expensive. Okay. So their starting units are more valuable, but in the long run, maybe they produce in a long attritional war, they produce less units. So even though they're a little bit better, I don't know how much better they are. Maybe they lose out to my cheaper units and production capabilities. Uh, it's a neat little detail of the game that I appreciate. It makes it more historical, even though the world conquest 100 nation taking over the world, like you can take over the world and win with Afghanistan. That is obviously not very 1939-ish. Still, this is the game mode I prefer. It's very risk. It's not Axis and Allies. It's very risk. Any nation on the world has the same chance to win. Okay, what else should I research? Um, it doesn't really matter. Am I gonna run out of food? Am I gonna run out of cruisers? They are good for anti-air. Okay, aircraft carriers. Maybe I should go for aircraft carriers. I didn't realize you could start building on this early. Um, I don't have enough metal now to actually research them. So maybe how much metal for my bombers? No metal at all for my tactical bombers. Uh, yeah, let's do that. Tactical bombers. It's 8 hours. The fighters only 1 hour. Okay, 8 hours. Bombers. That's not something. I only have one airbase. I only have one fighter. That's a starting setup. And obviously I'm not gonna be able to fly my bombers over here and use them. Also, starting bombers are quite weak, quite expensive, not something you really want to use to take out starting AI armies. Let's check what is this called. New South Wales. The ruler is an active player, but it's called Sir Philip Woolcott Game. I very much suspect that this is an AI name. Um, it doesn't it doesn't assign it as a computer player, but I do think this campaign has, excuse me, AI player. I know for sure Per Albin Hansson was the historical Swedish prime minister at this time during World War II, quite famous. So, oh, we were Axis here in Sweden apparently. Yeah, fair enough. So as you can see, every nation has a doctrine assigned to it, depending on where it is on the map. I don't think you get to pick this, so if you play a regular 100 map, I had to test this, you basically choose your doctrine by picking what nation you want to play. It's not like you can pick a nation and then decide, I want to play this doctrine. I don't think you can change your doctrine. That's fine, that's fine. Okay, next day starts in 10 hours. Can you see what day it is? Maybe in the newspaper? Can't quite remember. This should be day 1 or 2. It is day... Is this... Day 1. We're on day 1. Alright. Right. So I'm just gonna wait until all these... yeah, another thing I noticed is it's quite hard to grab all the what's it called again? Units. So I'm gonna move these guys next to the capital, which is the resource island, which has 2 rare metal. I'm not even sure I'm gonna attack and kill these 2 guys. Maybe I'll just wait until I get a battleship and send the battleship up here and eliminate them. Or maybe let my destroyer take care of them if they decide to leave the island. Okay. So I have a little bit, now I'm researching 2 techs. I have a little bit of production capabilities left. What I wish I did was not build as many barracks as I did. I built barracks in 3 of my towns, but since I was an idiot and sold most of my food for money that I bought rares with, which was the right thing to do in the old version of the game. So viewer, please follow and subscribe if you haven't. I don't know who you are. Again, I kind of messed up my production values a little bit. Maybe I want to build a third factory in the food production. I don't have the money, I don't have the metal, I don't have the oil. So now I'm slowly running out of resources. Excuse me. Oh, I am. Well, I have a lot of rares, so I can research. Well, I basically can't unless I sell stuff in the market. I have run out of money now, and I don't think there's anything I wanna. But you have to. There's a bit more open-ended start. You have basically uh, you had a very railroaded start in the old 1.0 classic build. You just had to build a barracks in every town because otherwise you couldn't build anything, I think. And then you had to build a level 1 factory because that would allow you to build, I don't know, tanks. It was streamlined. You didn't have a lot of choice. Here, you actually most likely can pick, hey, this town is going to be an aircraft production town. I'm going to level up the aircraft factory production in this town as high as possible, and I'll build only aircraft in this town. Because you don't get manpower from your barracks. You used to. Now all you get is unit build. Well, it says unit build time reduction. I wonder if that includes like tanks. I don't think so. I think it's the one units you build. I think it's the infantry type units that you build. So basically, this is artillery, motorized tanks, aircraft, and naval units and secret units. So what I did was decided to build infantry in 3 towns, which obviously I'm not going to do when you sell off all your food. I don't like building infantry in this game anyways. It's just good for the starting period. So I feel that the new changes has allow you to make more choices. Uh, it's more balanced, and yeah, I think it's a better design for a world conquest risk kind of MMO game. So I have to give Call of War a plus for the new update as far as I can tell now. If you have any questions, suggestions, I'm not gonna let you decide. I'm thinking of setting up, but obviously I'm gonna try to take over Tasmania. Do we gain? We're gonna gain more uh, goods production, a double province here. Maybe if we're lucky, there will be buildings. It used to be vital that you took over factories, and if you could take over a level 1 factory and you didn't have to repair it, it was so important because you could keep upgrading it quite cheaply, but building the first level of the factory was extremely expensive. So why is that? If you had why does it matter? Like that was just a weird, like you wanted to wait until the AI built up the factory to level 2 so that when you took the province, it wasn't eliminated. If I took a province and someone else took it, so you capture it twice, the factory would be gone and it would be incredibly expensive, especially in rare materials like 10,000 to build a new factory, which was extremely expensive, only something you could afford really in high resource provinces mid or even late game. Now, I want the resources. I don't really care if there are any factories here that increases production speed. I can build stuff over here instead. It's you fight less over cities with oh, and another thing, I think 462 manpower, they balanced it so that every city on the map has 462 manpower. Before they had this weird mix. like one town would have 1200, 180. Okay, so would all nations have the same amount of manpower? No, not really. Maybe almost, but one town could have 3 or 4 times as much as another one. Now it would really appear like, all right, resource provinces have 115. That's a flat number. Non-resource provinces have 347, flat number, and towns have 462. So, okay, you want to capture cities for manpower, but it's only, what is it, 25% on top of any regular province. So, really, manpower? No, not that important. You probably want resources and you want towns because of their double provinces, resource provinces now. So, big change. It changes the game quite a lot. Obviously, Conquest was good and it still is, but a little bit for different reasons here. All right, that manpower detail was so how much manpower increase can you gain from the recruiting station? Uh, you start with 20,000 manpower. That could be, I don't remember. I think you started with something similar, maybe 15,000. Well, you can get it up to 200. And if you gain 35% from the first level, you seem to have a little bit of incremental increase in if oh, it's only 3 levels. So yes, you definitely want to focus and gain the 200% from building 3 levels in one city when manpower becomes an issue for your country. I it was quite rare that you ran out of manpower in the old version. I'll have to be honest. Uh, at initially early game, yes, you built a lot of infantry and you ran out of manpower. But then after a while, you went over to surging with light tanks and you really did and artillery, and you quite didn't build a lot of infantry. So manpower wasn't a big issue. Let's see. I don't know. Maybe they balance the combat values, and infantry is more resilient, more important now. We'll see. We'll see. I am lagging behind in the food race because, as I said, I sold it, and you know what? Maybe you still can make a hefty profit from selling rare materials expensively and buying them back cheaply. It's something I used to do, playing the market. Anyways, I'm gonna sum it up here, and um, you know what? I'm not gonna be as careful as I usually am. If a player has decided to backstab me and are coming down here with 15 infantry, their full starting army, and knocks me out of this game, yeah, so be it. I'll restart on another map, and instead, okay, I'll say one in the capital. Instead, I'll just send off all these troops. So if you're new to this game and you're watching this video, here's another thing that there's a stack limitation. I think 6 infantry is the maximum you gain the max efficiency. So infantry number 7 and number 8 here, they will not fight at the full efficiency. So obviously infantry number 9 and 10 coming here, they will have even less efficiency. So okay, so why do you send more infantry over here to increase this stack? Well, I want to overwhelm, focus fire, and I'm gonna suffer losses, so they will replace losses, and maybe I'll split up in a stack, 2 stacks of 5, for example, or more is better. It's just less better. It's not risk as bad as risk that you can have 100 units and they perform as efficiently. You actually have a decreased linear efficiency. Anyway, 2 more infantry for Tasmania, and eventually New South Wales, which quite obviously will be my first AI target. Um, we could examine if we have. This is definitely computer played. This is not computer played. It's played by some, as long as they're called Sir. You see, all the Australian players with citation marks are called Sir. I don't think they're real players. Western Australia, it's another Sir. Okay, so all computer players in Australia, but that means they won't go to war with each other. That means they won't attrition. So I have to kill the entire AI army, which is as big as mine, which is like 15 starting infantry, which is kind of grindy to take down. So in reality, I probably want light tanks and artillery to kind of take them out in the countryside with the tanks and fire at them in the cities with the artillery, and not just frontally assault them with the infantry. It's too expensive. We'll see. But I have to start expanding. So maybe I'll be back tomorrow with day 2, or I'll do a very short update of day 1, how my invasions are going with... no, probably not. Probably day 2. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Press like, and if you're on YouTube, subscribe, etc., etc. I will be back with another update of Call of War Campaign New Zealand tomorrow. See you in the next one. Bye.